Welcome back to the desk, everyone. My name is R-Dog with the Triple G's, and we are watching PCC Day 2 of the Swiss Stages. We just finished watching Nightshade and Space Cadets, with Space Cadets able to secure their victory. But now it's time for Game 3 with Top Physique and Bad Timing. But before all that, I have to introduce some new faces. I am joined today by two lovely people, two very, very smart people. I'll start off with Mr. Meds, Omega tester, and a desk analyst we haven't seen in a very long time. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I took some personal time from the last PCC, but I'm very happy to be back with everybody here today. Excited to see this next matchup here.
He's back and ready to go. And of course, we also welcome Mugi Wawa, who we've seen from yesterday, our analyst, top desk analyst, a statistics enthusiast, as well as a coach. How are you, Mugi?
Well, I'm doing wonderful. And from how yesterday has ended with Dirty Lake and the boys and Professor, I can't wait to see the next 3 games. And hopefully we reach at a conclusion as good as yesterday.
I hope we see some new bangers as well. The first 2 games were very entertaining, to say the least, but now it's time to talk about Top Physique and Bad Timing. Start us off with what you know, Mugi.
Well, to be fair, it's a match I kind of expect a lot from, because I feel like Top Physique yesterday, finishing at the 6th seed, they kind of overperform a little bit based on what I was expecting, while on the other side, By Timing, with like people like Vecron, Pablo, like names that are very well established, Penta Pablo, of course, like they actually underperform a little bit, finishing only 11th seed. But they only do one counter performance, which was losing against Ratus Maximus. This is like how volatile those Swiss rounds can happen. And so I'm really curious, because I feel like that's 2 teams that this match is really like the true test for those 2 teams. Like Top Physique were really like overperforming, or they're really at that level, and Bad Timing were like maybe just like a lack of luck yesterday, and today they're ready to fight.
Yeah, I completely agree here. I think Top Physique is one of those teams that has a lot of big names on that roster. I mean, you got Mercy, you got Papaya, Chicken, Simba. If anybody has been on Twitch for any span of time, you will see Simba streaming, you will see Papaya streaming. If you hang out in Soul Reaper's chat at all, you will hear Chicken being brought up, and you will hear, Mercy being timed out for, whatever reason Soul Reaper thinks that day. So I think that the Top Physique team, they do have a very good team. I think you're right, Lee. I think they did have overperformed, but I do kind of while on the Bad Timing side, we do have Pablo on that team. And whenever Pablo's on that team, as we did say yesterday, we do kind of expect a lot from that player. He didn't get that name Penta Pablo for nothing, right? So I do think that they kind of underperformed a little bit. I do think, Vecron, he was touted as one of those very good supports. I know he hasn't been playing the game a lot recently, but he has been getting back into it. So I really hope that, yesterday was a little bit of a fluke coming in that 11th seed, and they can, really hit the ground running today.
I hope so too. And talking about those ADCs, let's talk about one of our favorite heroes, Kira.
So we can see that Kira, only 21 games from yesterday of out of the 45 games, so she's like present quite a lot, but not as much as other ADC as we have seen, like Drongo. We selected that one specifically because on the side of Top Physique, like out of their 5 games, they pick 4 times the Kira, so it's like a character they really, really like, and we can see for good reason, because even if the pick rate and the ban rate is not really that high, that win rate 73%, I think the highest of the first day, kind of speak for itself.
Yeah, I mean, Kira's just a powerhouse. She gets that poke in the early game with that Q, with that RMB. She can do a significant amount of damage. But on the other side of it, I do feel as though Drongo, in a lot of cases, with that silence, is actually a really good counter into Kira. So I'm really kind of surprised to see that win rate at 73% with that prevalence that we are seeing of Drongo.
I'm excited to see who will be able to pilot this Kira. But at the same time, you're talking about the Drongo. Drongo is one of the stronger ADCs in the game as well. But we got to head into this draft, and we'll have to see who they'll prioritize here and what sort of bans we'll be expecting between Bad Timing and Top Physique.
Well, expecting like maybe an Iggy and Scorch ban or a Drongo ban. So we go for the Drongo ban immediately from Bad Timing. So it's not a pick that they played a lot on Top Physique, like we already talked about the Kira. So I'm not sure like Top Physique is really like that phased about that. On the side of Top Physique, there is like something that is interesting is out of like the 10 ban they had yesterday, 5 of those were against support, and mainly the Narbash and the Muriels, probably into the second part of the draft, but they don't really like to play into those Enchanter type of support. And so that's something they can maybe remove. Then we can be looking at probably the Aura, the Zarus, like this type of classical ban, at least for the first round.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be looking at, the Decker first pick from either Bad Timing or Top Physique. If I was either one, I know Chicken's very proficient on that, and I know Vecron, he's very proficient on it as well. They do decide to take it away, actually, which is, I think, smart from Top Physique, because I do think that kind of limits Vecron's pool a little bit. Maybe getting him onto a less familiar pick. We do see Aurora being picked up. No surprise, she is running rampant in this meta right now. Definitely provides a lot of tankiness, a lot of great utility into that mid to late game.
I love this Aurora pick. She was piloted by Mav yesterday, and we saw what he can do with Aurora, today. And she's able to engage in team fights with her, but at the same time, also jump away and escape. She's a really good counter to Zarus.
And speaking of Zarus, like Zarus is still open. We know also that the gadget is still open. A lot of teams have prioritized this combo with the Coliseum, with the Tesla Dome. That can be like an actual, like pretty good, like first as an engage, but also like the gadget pretty good at counter engaging, maybe Aura diving into your backline. But we're gonna secure the Steel this time. And Steel is also a character that Top Physique loves a lot. They pick it 3 times out of 5 and many times into like the first part of the ban, which is definitely like something that is part of their strategy.
Yeah, and then we follow that up. Bad Timing picks up that gadget in Sevarog. I think Sevarog is actually a really, really good pick in the meta. I know people like to say that tanks are dead, but I think with the last patch coming in, tanks are kind of back. And I do think that Sevarog is that, late game assurance policy for a lot of these teams. And then, when you combine that with the gadget and the Aurora, getting all of that lockdown and kind of giving that pseudo microwave with that Zarus combo. If Aurora can get that big ult with that gadget Tesla Dome right on top of them, the team's going to completely melt. So I think this is shaping up to be a really good draft from Bad Timing.
You can really see the damage coming out from Bad Timing with that gadget. I was just going to say we are lacking some damage on the Top Physique side, but they answer back with the Gideon and then banning out the TB.
And also, we're going to ban the Muriel on the side of Bad Timing. I feel like this draft is interesting, like for one reason is we have seen many teams that kind of focus on that dual lane, like securing their carry and also their support very early. And I feel like here we're kind of back to PCC5, PCC4, when like actually we're like securing the front line, like what are going to create the plays in the initiation. We see the Aura, Sevrog, the 2 front line. We see the Zarus still the 2 front line. And then we have this mid laner that kind of create the cohesion between like those situations, and we keep both of the dual lane like open, and that maybe tell that both of these teams maybe want to play around the dual lane and they want to kind of have like a reaction, like they have the counter pick into the enemy dual lane, and that's what we're missing like here on both sides. Narbash is still open, but maybe it can be, and here we see the Grim.exit that has been played already 3 times on the side of a Bad Timing. It's like their carry of choice, and I'm kind of curious to see if Top Physique is going to secure like their own Kira, because we have Twin Blast, Drongo, Grim.x already taken, and of course here we see the Kira being secured, so we gotta keep the comfort pick that they have been playing towards the tournament.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at the Grim.exe pickup here. We do see this Zarus, we do see the Steel, we do see Gideon, and then, obviously the Quang and the Kira rounding that comp out. We do have a lot of backline threat. And with Sevarog and Aurora, they like to go forward, leaving the backline kind of totally open. So I'm really wondering what bad timing is going to pick up in that support role. I'm guessing it's got to be the Narbash to kind of protect the Grim.exe. But there's really not a lot of options here with the Decker and the Muriel being banned. Maybe they're looking at a phase here. Or it could be the Aurora support, which is definitely, we haven't seen a lot. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like very meta, but it's definitely something that I have seen in solo queue games, and it has some, interesting interactions, especially if that Aurora can stay around the Grim, protecting it with the Hoarfrost on the ground.
I have seen this happen, but only in pubs. This is our first time seeing it here in the PCC live on broadcast. That's going to be Vecron piloting that Aurora, and he's going to be duoed with Pablo. So I'm looking forward to seeing this duo lane dominate. But at the same time, on the other side, you're seeing the Kira and the Steel. What do you make of this matchup, Mugi?
Well, I feel like Steel as a support is always like a little bit complicated to use, but since here it's like two melee support, like you can make stuff happen. But at the same time, like being able to be aggressive against an Aura, like it's not really gonna happen. So I think it's more those two sides are gonna looking to scale. Maybe the side of Aura and Grim going to be a little bit more aggressive, but still it's gonna pull his weight more in the team fight in the future, I assume.
I see this top Physique team not really being the aggressor, but actually playing the re-engage game. We're kind of going to wait for that Seraph to go forward, that Sevarog to go forward, that Aurora to maybe go forward with her Ice Path. So wait, I think top Physique needs to be patient in that mid to late game. Wait for those three to go forward so that they can attack Pablo and get that Grim.exe down, because if they allow that Grim to just free hit, we all know what Grim can do. He can 3-shot pretty much any squishy, and then the Steel and Quang pretty much are just, they're paper to him. So we'll see how this goes. I think it's going to be a really interesting match. We haven't really seen a lot of Seraph, so I'm really excited to see this being piloted to a little bit more success.
With that being said, game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, this is between Bad Timing and Top Physique. Let's send it over to Woofy and Falcon.
Thank you so much, R-Dog, Mugi Wawa, and Mr. Mets, Woofy GG, and Falcon here to bring you this amazing matchup. Which draft is one of the most surprising we've had this event, Falcon?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to you before we were going live, and I was thinking until that last pick, I think Top Physique has a better draft. They had more damage overall, and BT just had too much AP. And then they showed that there was actually a Aurora support, and that just blew it straight open. The Seraph is going to be their AD damage. That is going to be what they need to burst through this triple front line of Bad Timing. And seeing it now, I mean, I think both drafts are very good, so it's going to be down to the players.
This was one of the biggest surprises I've seen in a long while, to see this team of raw talent just cook up something special where they say, you know what, let's just drop having a support altogether and use one of the aggressive targets or one of the aggressive picks as the support. I'm super excited to see how Top Physique, for an example, will handle this. For an example, how are they going to perform with this jungle matchup, Seraph versus the Quang?
It's going to be hard. I mean, we saw Seraph in the last game not do great. Svekwan actually gets a double root and is in a 2v1 right now. You got Pablo in the back end. Simba is already so low. The first blood's going to come through already.
Oh my goodness, Top Physique is in Top Physique right now, getting that first blood before we even start the laning phase. Are you kidding me? That's exactly what their composition benefits. They just went right for it. And I mean, that is just the power of having an Aurora as a support. The aggression is there, and they can even go for this red buff. But so far, so good. It does manage to go into the hands of Top Physique, but they're trying their best to get back in. The damage is there, and they manage to turn it around. Simba gets Oba right then and there. And now it's a 1-for-1. Can we finally get to the laning phase, buddies?
No, because in the midst of fighting, Blub and Obey have now hit level 2 each other. They are both half HP, and again, just fighting each other. Obey the Papaya goes down to under 100 HP, and Blub is also very, very damaged as well. And I mean, that was just crazy. Again, Pablo is getting run down by Simba and Chicken. He's going to have the tower available, but the Shield Slam is going to be enough to stun him. Simba is going to pick up another kill onto Pablo, not even 3 minutes into the game, Ruffy.
Yeah, and that is the most intense this game could have been. We are excited to see it, and we love to. But right now here in the offlane, we see Macaroni Monster and Last Pyrex here trying to duke it out. And for the record, Last Pyrex is relatively new to the scene, while Macaroni Monster moved over from Overprime. How do you feel about that little situation?
I mean, there's a lot of skills you can transfer quite easily. This Blub is just dead. So why not? Thank you, Mercy, for another kill added onto that. As we also have Oba rotating over to the solo side to get maybe another kill onto Last Pyrex.
Oba right now trying to hunt down Last Pyrex with the swing of the mace. I got a mace, and you're gonna turn to a disgrace. You're trying to blink it, but it's too little too late. The tower will help Last Pyrex get that kill.
Seraph and Tower Dice have not been going well so far today. I think that is 0-3 in favour of towers. But either way, 5 kills in 3.5 minutes, and 4 of them have gone into top Physique, which is definitely going to give them a great advantage. But once again, Vecron is going aggressive in this duo side. There is action everywhere. We can't even talk about what's happening because they just want to fight.
Well, it seems that they just don't care about your job at all. They want to give all the spotlight to me, I guess. But hey, that's just NA shenanigans at its finest. Last Pyrex here trying to bash it out with Macaroni. No. But here's Mercy. Is there any mercy for you, Macaroni? No, there isn't. The Subjugate is going to connect to stop Mercy's engage. But it's not over just yet because he's still on the hunt. He has the Spear of Near. He throws it and it misses. Macaroni surviving with less than 50 HP.
I mean, that's going to have to force him back to the base. So that is just going to give Last Pyrex even more control of this lane. But that is not going to stop bad time at the very least. They are going to start invading on the opposite side. We can see Oba taking the 5 camp and Mercy. I mean, it's once per tournament, right? Someone dies to sign buff with gold buff, so that's going to be Mercy. Congratulations on that award. As we might get another tower dive on to the duo lane. But said, I like how Vecron is using it, trying to dissuade and take away the minions from Simba before after they can die to the tower. But at this stage of the game, that's not going to be really possible.
No, and right now Blob is on the retreat. Obey the Papaya says, obey me right now. But here is the whole squad of bad timing, ready to push him back and make sure that Blob survives another day. This aggression has been at the top of a Predecessor competition. They do not care that this is a tournament with a lot of stakes. They want to go aggressive, and they want to aggress as much as possible to make sure that this game becomes a banger.
Hey, it's very entertaining. That is definitely for sure. However, no objectives have actually been looked at yet. You have got the Fangtooth spawning, have spawned in the last 40 seconds, and we have got Mercy over in this duo side. No one has really hit level 6 yet because of the amount of fighting, so I don't think there's going to be any sort of aggression just at the moment. But Chicken very luckily managed to walk past that ice wall before it comes through, and once again, just another aggression coming in this duo side. Mercy's still looking around, has got that invade, but we can see on the map Oba has just reset, is going towards that blue side, so we could easily see a 3v3.
Mercy going right in from the jungle, trying to push back Pablo and Vecron after that little unfortunate situation with the glacial charge. There was a time for a return as Oba is coming right in, and Obey the Papaya literally just denies Vecron's engage. Oh, disgusting black hole right there. But Oba still has the pressure with the Heaven's Fury. He manages to get a hold onto Chicken. He's getting right out of there just in time. And Blob wants to get that last hit onto the tower. He actually pulls off the Tesla Dome to make sure that Obey can't escape.
I think he was just trying to use that Tesla Dome to try and get that last take on the Simba, but Simba was able to get away fast enough in time. But that's now 8 kills in 7 minutes, so we are keeping ahead of that 1 kill a minute in this game. I don't think it's going to slow down at any time soon, as we actually see a scoreboard screen. We can only see that Blub and Obey are level 6. We've got Last Pirates as well in that level 6, so a very slow game in terms of XP and farm. But that's just because everyone is either fighting, dead, or returning to the base because they died.
Welcome back to the brawl, everybody. The Glacial Charge is trying to stop Mercy from pushing forward onto Pablo, but he does have the barricade available, and the Spear of Near does connect. Vecron trying to use a bit of that Boreal Sweep to keep him at bay, and it does seem to have been a successful defense. Very well played from the side of the bad timing support.
But that again is going to force Pablo to reset. It's going to force him to go back to base and lose even more farm. We haven't even hit anywhere close to those first items for anyone on this map. And I mean, it just delays the game. It's just to make the game go to a longer period of time, get to the 30-minute mark. As we get another gank in the solo side, as we got Last Pirates on his last steps.
Yeah, the last steps. He knew that there was a song called Stairways to Heaven because he saw it right then and there as the engage happened from Oba. That was just really unfortunate for the side of Top Physique because they're already having a bit of trouble getting a hold onto this offlane. But there's also a Sevarog to think about.
Yeah, this is not the match for Sevarog. Although he is going to be very, very strong in that later stage of the game, where has he had a chance to farm? Where has he had a chance to gain those souls, to gain those siphon stacks, and to get that extra HP? Because it's just been fighting non-stop. At the very least, it has been mainly around this duo side. Pablo has 48 farm at 9 minutes in the game, which is not great, as we get another fight in mid lane.
Well, Obey the Papaya wants to see if he could get a hold on to Blub. The Cosmic Rift is trying to connect, but it doesn't. And Oba's just gonna go for it, hunting down with the Heaven's Fury, getting a hold on to Obey the Papaya. The power of Top Physique is in peril right now, as that first fight decimated. Chicken coming in with a Bull Rush, connecting onto Oba and killing him in the process. Vecron has to use that Simulacrum to get out of the way. And that just resets the fight, but still, big purchase for the side of bad timing.
Yeah, I think both teams are gaining a lot, and we also got Vecron just fighting Simba and Chicken as that Glacial Charge to block him away, and Blub is still around, hasn't got much mana though, and now Mercy is back, blinking onto Blub.
He's trying to hunt Blub down, and with the Spear of Near, it should be able to be enough. That's a perfect aim right there from Mercy, getting a hold on to bad timing's mid laner.
That's such a good pickup as well, because Top Physique has got a reset, has got multiple members back on the map, whilst bad timing hasn't. Pablo's just reset. Blub is dead. Macaroni has only returned, and he is now a level down on Last Pirates as well. Has done those rotations into that mid lane, but has lost out. He's only got 61 farm at this stage of the game, which is nowhere near enough for the Sevarog. I think he's got the 40 stacks on his pauldrons, so at least he is stacking with that CS. But again, it's just not going to be that big old raid boss we have seen in previous PCCs.
Well, you know, Falcon, that's just what happens when you forget about shoulder day. You have to train your shoulders as well, or else it's just gonna be a horrible time for you, especially against a target like Wang, who can add pressure as soon as level 6 hits. So you really need to get those last hits, as you mentioned. But at this point in time, it just seems like both teams are very interested in these fights. They want to go for it. They want to dedicate everything they have. And it might just be a horrible situation for whoever is caught out in this situation. Chicken trying to see if he can get a hold onto Blub. Simba getting very low, but Blub will almost get shield slammed as Chicken misses that. Vecron coming in to help, and the black hole on top from Obey will try to force Vecron out. It is successful. There is the Colosseum right on top. Chicken following suit. The damage is there and the kill goes through. They have to be on the retreat now as multiple members of Top Physique are low. The barrier will stop the engage from the side as Pablo tries to get a GTFO out.
fight. That is all that's happening in this game. We have multiple rotations, and I was going to say before that all has happened, I do like how Top Physique has rotated their duo into that mid lane, gives them a bit more safety, gives them a bit more ability. But, I mean, Simba has 58 farm. That is 30 farm down from Pablo, and Pablo's farm is not good anyway, and it just shows how much has been happening on this map. Realistically, both teams aren't going to be accelerated. They have got those kills. Yes, they have still got the money from those kills, and also the first tower has been taken eventually by bad timing. But it's not going to be the same as if they were just farming straight up. And I mean, no objective has been taken. No first Fang 2 has only just been started. Hasn't actually been started. Lied to me on the map. Mini Prime has been laying there for the last 5 minutes, just looking around. And I mean, with how much action has been happening in the game, neither team has really gained anything from it.
No, it doesn't really seem to be the case. Nobody has actually been farming, so we're sitting in a situation where very small steps are happening, but it's so full of intensity from all of these battles that break out all over the map. But we do see multiple members of Bad Timing being situated around that Fangtooth pit. They might just try to see if they can go for a kill or two before that objective. Or maybe the objective is just like that one kid that always gets excluded by the rest of the squad. Macaroni Monster here, very low, has to keep himself within the tower due to the pressure, and the fight starts here in the pit by the river. Mercy will definitely go down to the power of a Blub, and the rest of the Bad Timing squad. They have lost a very important member here, as finally Bad Timing wants to go for an objective.
Yeah, they have taken down the jungler. There shouldn't be any sort of contestant against a first bounty, especially this late in the game. But we see Top Physique looking around. They have brought their mid laner over. The black hole is going to be available. And although Chicken is now very much out of position, there might have a slight chance of escaping. Never mind, using the Seal Slam to go back in, and then gets caught by the containment fence is going to be more than enough.
Yeah, they blocked the way of his escape, and that was just the final nail in the coffin. Bad Timing showing up and finally getting one of those very essential objectives throughout the mid game. So very well played to the squad. That I might have to preface this because I don't know if anybody else knows, but this team is consisting of raw talent. They rarely ever practice. They are just in this tournament to show up, and they're definitely proving to show up.
And they've also been known to be way too hyper-aggressive sometimes, which has been on full display in this game. Blub was trying to maybe lazy back there, but was stopped by Obey. It's going to try and maybe take Noah back. But, I mean, with Vecron here, they're just going to go re-engage. Mercy is also in the corner, though.
Vecron popped the Cryosystem, and Obey just doesn't really respect it. He didn't really care. Blub is so low, and Mercy, Obey, and Chicken are around. There's no escape for you, buddy. You're going down to Mercy. And that opens up the field for Top Physique over in mid lane. Meanwhile, in off lane, Last Pyrex and Macaroni Monster are at it again, duking it out with a few boxes here and there. A little bit of an uppercut here, and Macaroni Monster just doesn't really like the punches that are being pulled here.
No, he has gained quite a bit of farm since we last saw, and has gotten that next stage on the Pauldron. So he's doing a decent job against Last Pirates, but that seems to be the only lane where there's been no sort of rotations onto it. We've only seen Ober and Mercy look at it once. But with the mini prime now started, I don't think Bad Timing are going to look for a contest, and has been secured by Mercy. So it's going to be the first mini prime taken. However, Pablo's gaining so much farm in that duo side just without any congestion. So it's going to be very difficult to at least walk down this Grim, especially with Vecron playing as he is, playing that aggression on that war, using that Hoarfrost in such an effective way. Especially looking back, that first blood was just set up by Vecron, just getting the double Hoarfrost onto the duo side, and I mean, it's been going really well. I'm really impressed by Vecron's playing this game so far.
Yeah, aside from a few glacial charges that blocked the way instead of trapping someone inside, I would then tend to agree. But here is Vecron with the news, going right into the mid lane from the jungle to try and stop with the glacial charge. But Mercy knows that there's a river right behind him and just goes out of the way. A very quick rotation from Bad Timing, but it didn't give any purchase.
No, I think Bad Timing are doing a good job here. They have got the Kira on that solo side. Simba is trying to push in as much as he can, but they really need to play around Mercy right now. He has got that mini prime buff. He has got that ability to enhance the minions wherever he wishes, and if they don't really do anything with it, then they don't gain anything. Mini prime itself doesn't give you that much money and experience. You need to use the buff itself, use that aggression, and it just has not been happening from Toxic Physique so far.
No, they have actually just been trying to push up and immediately retreating as soon as trouble showed its face. As soon as just more than one member of Bad Timing was around, they just disengage immediately. And this is one of those times where I feel that they're giving a little bit too much space for Bad Timing. It seems that Falcon has disappeared into the void, so I will try to cover from here on out until he returns. The pressure here in the off lane is insane from Pablo, as he's just going right after the tower. Simba does manage to damage him a good bit, but still, all that damage on the offlane tower is too much. You cannot allow that to happen. And that means that top Physique is ready for the fight. They jump in with the Colosseum. And it's not doing much because Blob answered immediately with a Tesla Dome. And I'm still wondering where Falcon went. All right. Well, until we get the return of Falcon, the big brain, you're just gonna have the half brain, which is me. And
Hello?
right now it seems to be a little bit of a tough matchup for Top Physique. Or a little bit of a tough situation for Bad Timing, as Top Physique have been gaining grounds and they're jumping in to the occasion. Last Pyrex and Chicken both in mid lane. Background jumping in. And there we see another glacial charge, not really leading anywhere.
Woofy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome back.
I have returned. I have come back from the void. I have no idea what just happened, so I'm going to hope that nothing did. However, knowing this game, that is probably a lie. However, the second Fang Tooth has spawned, and we can already see Bad Timing trying to set up, looking for a trap, looking for anything they can gain. But Last Pyrex is over here. This might be the first big 5v5 of this game.
And right now, multiple members of Bad Timing are together, but Oba is by himself and he will fall to Simba. And that just opens up the field even more for Pablo to show up and kill Last Pyrex. Chicken and Mercy trying to hold off Blob, and they get a two-man shield slam to open up the field for their re-engage. Blob is solo and has to get out of the way with a blink, but is it too little too late? Blob is actually able to hit with the hat, and that's just a really good comeback. Simba still in the run and getting 2 out of those kills.
Yeah, Simba was just able to hang back. He had that front line. Chicken was basically untouched the entire time, had such a good seal slam. Mercy as well, just diving onto that backline. They got so much, and now that is also their first Fang Tooth of the game. However, thinking about it, it's 20 minutes in the game. All Prime has a spawn, and we haven't even hit that third Fang Tooth. These are not going to be the winning objectives for either team. It's going to be down to these team fights. It's going to be down to that All Prime. And, I mean, Simba really needs to back rather soon, so he can reset, he can get those items, get that Demolisher online, and go towards that All Prime.
So much damage is on the table, and with Simba's little advantage that has happened in the last few minutes, it does seem to be getting more and more out of control. Pablo, on the other hand, is trying his best. They're even in they're even in level. But when we're looking at the items, it seems that Simba is a little bit behind, but it seems that he is catching up slowly but steadily.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit hard for Top Physique to come back in with that. However, if neither team really looks towards this All Prime, it does seem the case. Everyone's gone back to those lanes. It doesn't really favour either side. Macaroni Monster is going to be able to continue stacking up, is building towards that third item, has got that Tainted Guard. It's also building towards what looks like maybe is the steel plates, which would be rather interesting, building into 2 different items there. However, just try to do as much as he can to delay Simba, to delay Mercy, and if he can do that, that is going to be his job.
And he is doing a great job of it so far. His tier 1 has not fallen just yet. None of Bad Timing's tier 1s have fallen just yet, which just shows that they're really good at the defense game. And as you said, the Orb Prime is up for grabs. Maybe you should try to move towards there. And it does seem that Top Physique knows exactly what's on the menu today. We're talking about a healthy diet of Orb Prime buffs and most likely a double bubble buff eventually. Macaroni Monster does notice that multiple members of Top Physique are there, but he doesn't want to push his luck just yet. He has to wait for the rest of his squad. Top Physique right
knows
down
that
into the
Oba
Orb
was...
Prime pick. Oh, go on.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying Top Physique knows that Oba was reset and he was on that other side of the map, and they had a chance to at least look for a pick. Blood is on the opposite side of the map.
And again, missed position is the end of that deal. Simba getting another kill onto Blob as he was not grouped up with the rest of his squad, which was very unfortunate. This opens up the field for Top Physique to actually go for this or Prime. But it seems that they just want to get some more lane presence as they're going in and deep pushing their waves.
Yeah, Obey doesn't have that much mana left, and they did use a decent amount. However, Last Pirates has also been caught by 3 members of Bad Timing. The Colossal Blow is going to go through. Pablo is just auto-attacking him down. That slow is going to be enough. Mercy is going to be back, and I think Last Pirates might be able to get out.
Last Pirates on the retreat from Macaroni Monster. The Colosseum on top will block the way and make sure for his escape. Mercy trying to hold it off, and the shield slam hits 3 people. Insane! Simba will manage to get that with the vengeance stacks. Macronus on the retreat. He will fall as well to Simba. Simba is farming right now, but it's not minions. It is kills, and the purge is going through. Oba has no chance of surviving. 3 members of Bad Timing fall to the power of Top Physique.
Top Physique did such a good job, but Oba managed to kill Mercy on the back end. That is the jungler dead. They can't risk the 50-50. They don't have the secure. Blub and Pablo have returned. Obey is just in a bad place.
Simba is trying to go right for it. Pablo is solo. There's no way you're going to survive. Obey the Papaya will cosmic grift your life away. And with the black hole on top, Blub is the next one to fall on the chopping block. 4 out of 5 members of Bad Timing are down and out. And nobody remembers you when you're down and out. That means the Top Physique are on the dot and on the way to their next big power spike.
Simba is 9-1 from being behind a farm against Pablo. He is now ahead and has built himself into a monster in this game, and I mean has been doing such a good job spacing out. I know he role swapped into that ADC role for this tournament, but has been playing like he just has been an ADC main for ages, so he's been really impressive so far. And also Chicken just getting that 3-man ultimate in that Seal Slam earlier on was so good. Now we're getting towards that 3rd Fang 2 spawn as well. The Orb Prime is still available, and it's going to be a case of if one team goes for this 3rd Fang, if they commit multiple members, the other team might be able to sneak that Orb Prime.
And the steal is not the situation you want if you're the one engaging, so you have to wait for the opposing squad to engage onto that objective, which is a little bit of a tango. You need 2 to tango, but in Predecessor we need 10. And that's just what happens here. It's a little dance, and once the dance has started, it's all but over for you. Top Physique manages to get the 2nd Fang Tooth, and they're on the retreat. They're getting pushed back, and even with their efforts, it's not going to be enough. The stuns are there. BT are ready to rock and roll. Blub with the Tesla Dome getting a hold on to Chicken, and they're on the retreat. Macaroni Monster is too low and has to retreat, but so are members of Top Physique. Pablo getting 1, Pablo getting 2. He is in sentry mode, and he's hungry for blood. And despite the efforts of Top Physique, it's definitely going into the pockets of Bad Timing.
Macaroni Monster, what a ultimate, hitting 3 people back into his team, back into that Tesla Dome. That was a game-changing fight, because not only do they get the kills, they will look towards this Orb Prime. They are going to start it up. Pablo, it was down and out, was behind Simba, but he is still a Grim. He has still got that damage. Aurora has got that pass as well, but they don't have the tankiness. They have Last Pirates coming back in on his own, and the Orb Prime kills Vectron.
Well, Vecron thought that he was a jungler for a second there and stayed behind with the rest of the squad leaving. So that's just going to be another kill in the pockets of nobody, as it just falls to Dior Prime. So, Falcon, I wanna ask you a question here as this fight keeps going back and forth. Who will benefit the most from Dior Prime?
Whoever secures it, Wolfie. Both teams have a very good composition for just seating down against the opposite side, and whoever gains it has got a massive advantage. Saying that Top Physique is already taking it down to under half HP. Oba is here. It's going to be down to Chicken to try and delay him.
And with that, it's just gonna be a done deal. They use everything available to them. The Black Hole, the Coliseum, everything available to make sure that they get this Orb Prime. Blob is under retreat, but you are so low. Macaroni Monster within the pit, trying to box them all out. Pablo trying his best to deal damage from the side, but he is just as low as the rest of his squad. But Chicken is caught out in a problematic situation. The Cryo System is gonna connect onto Mercy, and both of them are keeping this pressure up. Bad timing once again, pulling out all the stops and putting the aggression on full blast.
Blob needs to back off. He is going to be so low. Vecron also goes down. Macaroni Monster is behind Simba. If they can kill this Kira, they might have a chance. Blob messes up his seek and destroy, but he still uses that mine to get the kill. However, they are still surrounded by multiple members. We got Last Pirates, we got Obey looking around. Blob is on 1 HP and take that to 0 HP as Macaroni Monster is the last one standing for the side of Bad Time, and Oba has just respawned.
3-4-3. This is what we love to see here in the Predecessor community. Back and forth between two amazing squads. The raw talent contra the content dynasty in Top Physique. Who will take it at the end? So far, so good. We have not seen any definite answers just yet, and that's just what we want. So, what's next on the agenda, Falcon? Do you think that Top Physique should just push forward, or is there any option that they have that could be a big deficit to Bad Timing's defeat?
Now, having watched so many games with me, having casted so many, just not games but scrims, what I can say for one assured reason, I think these two teams are going to fight again very, very soon. It gives a small hint, but I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the first rule about Fight Club is that you don't mention it, but apparently they want it to be a public affair. So that's just the name of the game here. And there is in 1.5 minutes going to be spawning the most important objective of the Fangtooths, or Fangteeth, and that's going to be the third one.
Yeah, I mean, neither team can really start it. They have got 2 Orb Prime buffs still available on Obey and on Last Pyrex, but that's not going to be enough to just win a team fight, especially if they do start this Prime Fangtooth. And the latest game goes, the more items that Pablo is going to gain. He already has that Kostka, has got that magical pen online, and although Toxicity can easily build into that magical defense into as much as they need to, we have to remember Oba still has a decent amount of damage. Even if he has gone that Bruiser rebuild, it is still a Seraph, but Last Pyrex might be caught by the members of Bad Time. However, a Krang is still tanky, he can still get away. On the opposite side though, that's the jungler for Bad Timing.
Once again, their jungler falls in battle, but that does not mean that it's over just yet. There are still fights happening all around the map, especially in mid lane with Last Pyrex and Macaroni Monster fighting it out. Simba and Chicken in the back. They might actually just ward up and get ready for this objective, as they know they have the win condition in hand. Macaroni Monster still trying to box out Last Pyrex for whatever reason. And that just means that Top Physique will have an easy time engaging on this very objective. Vecron and Blob are the only ones available. Will they jump in and try to make something happen? They're trying to show up, but they have to retreat just the same. Obey the Paya has so much damage available to him, and he just cannot be stopped. He has to keep his distance, though. As the Primal Fangtooth goes the way of Top Physique, they open up the ballroom with a Coliseum and Black Hole on top. Vecron has no chance of surviving. Simba in the backline with only 1 HP manages to win that skirmish against Macaroni Monster. Top Physique are sitting at comfortably 27 kills in total.
It looked risky for a moment. Top Physique only had 3 members in that pit, but it was their best chance. Oba being dead, there was no jungler, there was no 50-50 chance. They got the secure, and with Obey using that Time Warp Flux band, or Time Warp band, to go aggressive against the side of bad timing, to try and delay as much as he could, it allowed the rest of the team to go through. And Simba getting that 1v1 kill against Macaroni was vital, because it meant that he could survive with this buff. Now they can look for the season. There's still tier 2 towers on the map for both teams 32 minutes into this game, but that Primal Foundry is going to be nearly monumentally hard to fight into, and if Blood gets caught just like this, he is going to be in a lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble indeed. He literally just falls from 3 members of Top Physique going full aggressive. And that's what we've seen the entire game. So why am I surprised at this point that the aggression is the name of the game? Vecron, Macaroni Monster, trying to hold off the field from the jungle. The Hoarfrost is gonna connect and root them in place. Simba is getting GTFO'd, and he's so low and blocked from Vecron's Glacial Charge that he doesn't survive to tell the tale. Vecron still in a fight against 3 members. The Cryosystem is gonna connect onto Chicken. He does manage to blink out of the way to make himself survive another day. And that's just a beautiful and utterly incredible performance from the Bad Timing squad.
They played that 2 millimeters. They got the kill on Simba. Macaroni Monster was again playing out of his mind on this 7 Rogue, as well as Vecron just getting another great Glacial Charge, blocking the path away to make sure that Simba was going to die, and Pablo just cleaning up in the back end. I do love how well Bad Timing are playing into these buffs. They're looking for the weak link, the person overstepping their boundary, going a bit too aggressive, and they can punish Top Physique with it. They do lose the tier 2 tower in the solo side, but only losing 1 tier 2 tower whilst the enemy team has Primal Fang 2 and the 3rd Fang buff as well is great. Now the all Primal started, and Top Physique are not ready.
Bad Timing already knowing what their win conditions are and where other members of Top Physique are. So they are just gonna directly engage, but Obey the Papaya jumps in with a turret space and Black Hole combo. He does manage to get stunned there, but Top Physique does manage to get that Aura Prime, and that opens up the field for their side. Blob has to be on the retreat. Macaroni Monster manages to get a hold on to Obey the Papaya, most likely with a Siphon, and Simba in the backline getting a hold on to Oba, most likely with the power of the Vengeance stack / Pyrex as well, cleaning up Pablo. They're losing every single member available to them over on Bad Timing. Top Physique are showing up. They've been training for this. Their training arc has just begun, and you are witnessing it.
Sevro is the only one who can back. Macaroni Monster is the only one available. He's taking a red buff. Yes, there is time. The tier 2 tower in the mid lane is still alive, still available, but that is going to go down in such a quick fashion. Vecron has no chance of resetting. Chicken is just being an absolute menace against this wall. It's actually going to nearly kill Vecron, and it's stuck in the wall. Vecron is going to try and run away for once again, but in the meantime, that mid inhibitor has gone down. Macaroni Monster once again is the only one in defense, and Last Pirates has pushed the solo side in. That's going to be the second inhibitor being chased as Vecron is still alive.
Everybody cue the circus music or the Penny Hill theme. I do not care which. That was a fight of the ages, a chase to remember. Pablo. In the meantime, the Colossal Blow is gonna connect, and Simba gets Pablo to open up the field. The Coliseum on top will actually keep them at bay, but the Tesla Dome will also stop the third engage from top. They managed to get Blob, and Macaroni Monster is tethered and slaughtered like a lamb. Simba also getting Oba as well. Vecron is the only one available. 4 out of 5 members have fallen on the side of Bad Timing. Their timing was not right this time around, and this pressure is all but imminent. You cannot stop this squad. Top Physique are showing up with a masterclass of their own and taking this victory.
After that bloodbath, it is Top Physique. We were questioning them. Were they this good? Were they actually as good as the scoreline showed? And beating Pablo, beating Vecron, beating Blub, beating Bad Timing. I mean, they showed that answer is yes. What a game. That was 36 minutes in the game. And I mean, Top Physique had 36 kills. Technically, Trey Deaths, even though Blood Timing only had 19, we're just Silent Buff had 1 kill on the other side. But what a game. That was so good.
It was a beautiful execution at its top level. This is why you should watch PCC8 Swiss Stage. It's not over before the fat lady sings and the core fell. We're going to send it back to our wonderful desk as we are done here. So say hello to our desk coming back. Our dog and Mr. Mats. And oh, I'm forgetting it. Moogie.
There you go.
That took a while. Thank you, Falcon and Woofy. How dare you forget Moogie Wawa? Welcome back to the desk, everyone. My name is Ardog with a triple G. We just watched Game 3 between Bad Timing and Top Physique. Watching this game was a bloodbath from the start to the finish. Seconds into the game, we already have first blood, and 8 minutes in, we've had a kill per minute. Moogie, start us off with what were the highlights for you?
Well, to be honest, like you said, it was a bloodbath, and that was kind of what I expected from those two teams. Bad Timing and Top Physique, like the players there, for me, kind of tell me that it's supposed to be a bloodbath, like very aggressive players, a lot of like based on mechanics. But what surprised me the most is actually like I feel like Top Physique, they really step up in terms of their macro. Like all the team fights, you can see there was like some engagement, but every time then they regroup themselves, they got the pick on Oba, the Serat, and suddenly like that opens up opportunities. And I feel like on the side of Bad Timing, unfortunately the macro was never really there. Like they got some phenomenal plays, like that colossal blow by Macaroni Monster multiple times, kind of kept them into the match, but yeah, just like the macro wasn't there, and Top Physique like decided to scale up on that side, and at the end that's how they got the W.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like the team of BT was playing Overprime for most of that match. We are playing Predecessor here. We do like to play a little bit of macro in this game. So, I think it was obviously a bloodbath. I do commend Vecron for staying alive that long against Chicken in that chase. And if there is one person that would pilot the Aurora support, I would think it would be him. I did think that he did put up a very good game from that level 1 engage all the way through. So I think that both teams played very well. I just think that there really didn't. BT really didn't get onto Simba, as we did see in that late game, and even in this clip right now, we did see that Pablo just couldn't play the game when Simba was around. Simba just scaled up throughout the game and just decided, I'm going to take this game into my hands, and I'm just going to run through.
Whatever happened to farming these teams, they don't know them. I loved watching this game as well. And you were talking about Simba. Simba is in this new role. He used to be a jungler for his old team, but now he's in this ADC role playing Kira, which is a hero that we highlighted during our death segment from before the game. And when you're looking at his numbers, he ended the game with 15 kills, 4 deaths, and 6 assists. And then his damage, that's a whopping 51,000 damage coming from just him alone. So we've got a lot of damage coming from him, but that's not to say that we can't highlight the rest of his team, Moogie.
Well, definitely Simba, like is those things he created a lot, and he needed to create a lot because it was the main damage dealer. If Simba was falling in those team fights, suddenly everything would crumble. And to be fair, I was super scared because at 12 minutes in, we were like under 5 CS a minute with only 54 CS on Simba. Like that's silver level of farm, like to be honest. So that was like super scary. But then he come back into the match and really like pull on his weight. I have to admit also, like in the early games, I was a little bit like dubious about Chicken, a lot of ability miss. not peeling the right target, but he really pulled off in team fight with some great shield slam. And Mercy, I feel like Mercy has evolved the most, because I used to see Mercy on Zarus. He's just jump in and dies because he stays in. But here, he was waiting for the right opportunity, was jumping in, creating space, making himself hard to kill, and then coming back in. So all the team, like I feel like they're really, really evolved from like the previous PCC, and that definitely showing the result. And so they were not overperforming. We have our answer. They were actually performing to the level that they built themselves upon.
Yeah, I mean, I did say that, you know, Simba did kind of carry that game, but he didn't have, I mean, he wouldn't be anything without Chicken, without Mercy, having those re-engages in those middle of the fights, right? Being able to get onto Pablo, making sure that he doesn't free hit on that backline. We did see that one fight towards that mid game, towards the, towards that Fangtooth, and Pablo was just untouched, and we did see what he could do when he wasn't touched, right? So having the ability to get on top of him, kind of was that a key to success for Top.
GG's Top Physique. You won that last game. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with game number 4.